Welcome back. This is session 4. Now we are slowly into data science and we are trying to provide a formal structure of how a data science project needs to be done. What did we discuss so far in the previous sessions, especially session number 3, which was one of the longest ones? We stated that the data science project has been part of our own life since we were in our mother's womb. We started collecting the data. We potentially looked into how to clean the data, whether it was through the eyes by looking at the mother and father faces, slowly removing the fuzziness. Maybe at some point when you were a teenager and you were in a party or on a beachside, COVID-19 permitting, basically you are with your loved ones and the friends and the ocean and the birds and all that, lots of noise. And what you could do, you get the data through your ears and you try to intently focus on the voice of your mother. You intently try to focus on the direction where your mother is calling you. And what happens is that you get the information through a collaborative devices available to you, ears and eyes, and then you are going to process that and you are going to make a decision. You're going to walk toward your mother. Your mother has said that she has prepared for you fruit juice. It's in the middle of the day, a fruit juice is going to do lots of good. So what happens is that you get the data, you intently clean them. You don't want to hear the birds sound. You don't want to hear the ocean sound. You don't want to hear any of your friends sound. It's your mother calling, right? You intently look at the direction. You intently clean the voices around, filter them out, filter them out as well, except your mother voice. And then you're going to make a decision. You want to walk toward your mother. That's a basic example of what the data science is. I want you to remember this process for the rest of this class. That is, you collect the data, and of course, cleaning is going to be part of it. Then you're going to process the data, and then you're going to make a decision at the end in a very simple way. I'm going to show you a little bit more complex life cycle of a data project, data science project. But at this time, these 3 pillars of a data science project is sufficient for you to know. So we said that it has happened in the past, it is happening now, it is going to happen for the rest of your life. You are going to be an intelligent and a smart person, and you're going to take a look at the data available to you. You are going to make mistakes. Everybody does mistakes. Maybe you have selected the major and you have gone through that 3 years and 4 years, and suddenly you realize that the major you have gone into doesn't have as much job available as it's supposed to be, as well as it's not part of possibly in line with your passion, and that's why you're not performing as best as you could. Simply, we made a simple mistake. And then we are going to go back to the drawing board. We are going to take a look at the attributes we missed. Maybe the passion and interest was a major contributor to your success, or perhaps a little bit of a disappointment in the major you have selected. And then what happens, you go back to the drawing board, you say, okay, these attributes are now important to me, and I'm going to basically start all over again. I'm going to go into a different major. I'm going to have double majors. I'm going to have 2 PhDs, 3 PhDs, 1 or 2 masters. That's how it is. That's how life is supposed to be. And that's how data science project is supposed to be. I need you to remember that. Data, processing, decision at the end. What we are going to do in this class, we are going to slowly identify elements and terminologies of this entire process. This is not an advanced data science course. This is an introductory course, and the audience is supposed to be coming from high school. So we are not going into heavy duty math items in this class. We do have math, as you have seen in the past, but we are going to go and basically try to define the terminologies that you need as you move forward to the next level of difficulty and complexity in the courses you're going to take. So we are going to identify those terminologies. We are going to familiarize you with the entire process. This is going to be, again, please keep in mind, it's an introductory course. I also want to explain a word in the title of this course that is science, data science. So let me explain, let me share my screen, and I want to put you at ease about the science portion of it. When you were in high school, grade 10, 11, 12, you had to take a few courses: chemistry, physics, biology. Let's put them in a basket. I hope you have a very specific feeling about those courses, the physics, chemistry, and biology. Then you have something like mathematics, perhaps geometry, basically, and perhaps a few other courses that required you to do a bit of calculation, maybe. And there was a few courses such as psychology, arts, politics, and those are supposed to be enriching you in terms of the foundation of the environment. That is going to be expert domain, knowledge domain, the domain knowledge, that's what it is, okay? So you can see that this kind of component, the three components of the science, basically mathematics, the domain expertise, knowledge domain, and perhaps a bit of coding. I would suspect that you have had one or two courses on coding. Otherwise, you might have done it on an extracurriculum activities. And we have, as you know, we have done quite a bit of coding by the time we are in this session now. So what is physics to you? Let's take a look at physics. What is the physics? Well, in physics, you learn that if you put the water onto a stove, it's going to boil under very normal circumstances that are, of course, explained extensively in those courses. It's going to boil at 100 degrees Celsius, okay? You're going to learn forces and motion. You're going to talk about gravity. Of course, you're going to have equations, so it's not going to be just pure understanding, but it is going to be equation as well. They talk about light, perhaps about waves, electricity, electromagnetism, electronics, possibly a little bit of a component, semiconductor devices, maybe diodes and transistors. I don't know how far and advanced you have been exposed to in your high school. And then nuclear physics, a little bit of atoms and molecules and the relationships of neutrons and positrons and basically electrons itself and all that. So, and we had some deep discussions about many of them. You could potentially be exposed, and I'm not sure, to the relativity idea that was presented by Einstein. Those are supposed to enrich your understanding, your overall understanding. So when you go outside and people say Newtonian law, okay, you know what it is. You know how to discuss at the basic level what a Newtonian law is and why it matters and why it behaves the way it does. I mean, the experiment that was conducted a few centuries ago. And you could even also talk about the exceptions, such as when you are in an area where it is zero gravity room provided by NASA. Generally speaking, physics is a fundamental course. It talks about foundation material that you need to know. Take a look at chemistry. It really, the same is potentially the same is going to be true in a different perspective, as if you have moved from one angle now to a different angle now. When you were on the right looking at physics, now let's take a look at the left on chemistry. You could potentially talk about biology. We talk about interactions of molecules, and basically we talk about many things that are going to be eventually manifesting themselves in different science later on. You talk about chemical table, the famous table, and the elements, and the interactions, the attributes of those materials, fundamental materials. You did have some experiment in the lab where you were combining and mixing some of the components together to see what the overall impact is going to be. It was foundational. It was supposed to be giving you overall view. You could potentially argue about biology as well. Data science is a foundational course. We are trying to give you an overall understanding of how a data science project is supposed to be done. We do not go deep inside each of one of the segments. Those are going to be done in a follow-up, basically lectures, classes, not in this class, courses. And all you have to do is just to remember that we are not at this time aiming for a complex project to be carried out using the material that we are going to offer. But all in all, I need you to remember one thing for sure, and this is going to be changed. This picture is going to be seen in a different way in a moment. That is data, process, decision. So I need you to keep that in mind, okay? See you in a bit.